Hello and welcome to Success Stories with Kei, where you get a chance to see success from the eyes of someone who has achieved success. What is success? Success means different things to different people, and I'm interested in hearing from these people to find out how they define success. What have they achieved? What challenges have they overcome? And what are their keys to success? Our guest today is someone that I know very well. I'd like to introduce you to Kei Lee. Now, Kei is a marketing technology consultant. He works for a global tech company, and he's the owner and founder of Kei to Success. Welcome, Kei.
Thank you, sir. It's good to be here.
So tell us about yourself. Who is Kei?
I'm a simple guy, married, 2 kids. I've got about a squillion pets. I like to keep fit and healthy. I do this by eating right, having lots of exercise. My exercise of choice is Taekwondo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Keeps my mind, body, and spirit all focused. And I also try to get lots of rest. However, I never seem to get quite enough sleep, or as much as I'd like anyway.
Amen to that.
I try to feed my mind. I'm always learning, and I try to keep myself busy.
So tell me, Kei, what are your proudest achievements?
Apart from my family and relationships, there's 3 things that I'm really proud of in life. The first is when I was a DJ and I had my own DJ business. The second was when I was at Monash University. I was the president of the Monash Marketing Students Society. And the third is this new venture that I'm embarking on, Kei to Success.
Oh, you're a DJ?
Yeah, so with whatever I do, I'm actually a whatever before I'm even officially recognized as one. So yeah, so at one stage in my life, I was playing music to big crowds and I was getting paid for it. But yeah, once a DJ, always a DJ.
Nice. Tell me more.
When growing up, I loved music. I still love music. But when I was growing up, I listened to my mum's tapes. I made my own mixtapes at high school. I knew I wanted to be a DJ. When I went to uni, I made friends with DJs and I learned from a working DJ. Then I bought my own gear and I practiced and I practiced and I got good. And then I started doing gigs for my friends. Then I got a job working with a friend who had a DJ business. And then I decided to run my own business.
Amazing. What did you learn?
Lots. So back in the day, there were no courses or guides or playbooks on how to be a DJ. My biggest outtake from DJing was that it's a service business, and service businesses are all about reputation. So you're only as good as your last gig. So this has developed my appreciation for great customer service, and I've not looked back.
So why are you proud of this?
So eventually I had an agent who helped me book high profile gigs. So I was doing a lot of private and corporate gigs, such as the Australian Open Tennis Players Ball, the Australian Grand Prix parties. I was doing parties at all these fancy places like Crown Casino and Park Hyatt Hotel, things like that. I got to meet famous people. I met Jimmy Barnes, I met John Bon Jovi. Interestingly, I met my wife when I was DJing, but that's a story for another day. I'm really proud because essentially I got to where I got to by myself. I had a goal. I figured out how to get there, and I just did it. And I got there, and I was successful. And it was really good because I learned a lot of things, and I learned from doing it and from mistakes as well.
Okay, so let's talk about some of these mistakes, because what I want to do is explore these challenges that people have had on their journey to success and how they overcome these challenges.
Sure. So when I was DJing, I wanted to run dance parties. So I figured out that instead of just being invited to DJ at someone's party or event, why don't I run an event and then I get people to come along? So it's just another way to make money.
So this is where you failed?
Yes and no. The first one I ran was a massive success. So I used to live out east. I lived in Doncaster. I hired out the Athenaeum Hall, and that hall held about 400 people, and I had 600 people turn up. There were people lined up the road all the way to the McDonald's. It was about 200 people long, and by the end of the night, the walls were dripping with condensation. It was huge. It was a success by any measure.
So what went wrong?
Well, the second one, I wanted to go bigger and better, as you do. I essentially hired a bigger hall in Box Hill, all gear, and unfortunately, it was a disaster. The hall held, could have held about 1,000 people, and I got less than 100. So it was really bad. It was the only time in my life where I was physically ill. I felt so nauseous from the stress of it all.
Wow. That sounds pretty intense.
Yep, but there's always a silver lining, and I believe everything happens for a reason, and it's because of that failure, it took me on the trajectory to the career path that I'm on today.
How is that?
So after these two events, I wanted to understand that why the first one was such a success and the second one was such a failure. So my friend was studying business at the time, and he lent me a marketing textbook, and I read it, and I learned about the 4 Ps, and I learned that I had the product, I had the price, but the place was wrong and the promotion was wrong. And from there, I wanted to study marketing. I enrolled myself in a marketing course at Box Hill TAFE, and then I transferred to Monash University.
Okay, cool.
So it's at uni where I experienced my next achievement that I'm super proud of. I was the president of the Monash Marketing Student Society. This was arguably the best club on the campus at Monash Caulfield.
Tell us about that.
Sure. So I'm enrolled into marketing, and I joined the Marketing Student Society. So the first year I was volunteering, doing stuff. The second year I was the communications manager, doing stuff. And by the third and final year, I was the president. And that was unusual because people don't usually become the president in their third and final year. They're focusing on study, but I did it and had a crack at it, and I was quite successful. And the reason why people don't do it in their final year is because it's so stressful. I can't tell you how stressful it was, but it was good. It was a great experience because I learned how to deal with stress at that early stage of my life. It was interesting because there were things that I learned which I thought were failures. And I was really at the time, things like I couldn't get people, the committee members, to turn up to meetings. I couldn't get them to actually do their assigned tasks, right? They were just flake and they wouldn't do it. And I thought it was me. And what happened was I was talking to another president of another club, the water skiing club, and she was experiencing the same things and even worse. So it was that point in time that I figured out that there were only certain things that I can control, and there's certain things that I can influence, and everything else is up to the universe. So it wasn't me. I just was doing the best that I could. So it was a really good learning at that stage of my life.
Wow, that's powerful stuff. So what happened then?
Well, I was in my final year of uni, and being the president, I was approached by recruiters, and they said, "Hey, we've always placed the president of the student society. We want to help you out." And I said, "Cool." And they said, "Look, where do you want to go?" And I said, "Look, I want to work in an ad agency." And they said, "No, no, no. First year students or first year leavers don't get jobs at ad agencies. We can place you as a merchandiser, but we can't get you a job as an ad agency." So that wasn't good enough for me. But what was really fortunate was that I built relationships with the lecturers. One of the lecturers knew a person who ran an ad agency, and they were looking for a marketing graduate. So because I put myself out there in that role as the president, and I was doing all these things, I had a really high profile. So I got an interview, I got the job, and the rest is history.
Okay. So you mentioned there was a third achievement that you wanted to talk about, a key to success. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes. So Kei to Success is the culmination of all my experiences. It's the public-facing platform that allows me to share my learnings with anyone who is interested.
So what exactly is key to success?
I'm glad you asked. Kei to Success is simply me putting myself out there to share my learnings with people to help them unlock their potential. Now, I think there's 3 keys to success. Number 1 is capability. Number 2 is communication. Number 3 is confidence. Now, there's many other factors such as environment and external influences, etc. But these are the 3 things that you can control. So take capability, for example. When I was a successful DJ, I became a successful DJ because I practiced and I got good and I got the skills and I was capable. When I was in marketing, I studied, I'd learnt the skills and techniques, I had the capability.
Yes, from what I've heard, you're a capable guy.
But capability is not enough. It's like the old saying that if a tree falls in a forest and no one's to hear it, doesn't make a sound. Now, I believe that you can be the most capable in the world and you can do the best work in the world. But if you don't communicate that, or you don't share that, or people don't hear about it or understand it, then are you truly successful in the eyes of the world? I think you need to communicate what you've achieved. Now, businesses do this all the time, right? So they've got advertising agencies, they've got PR firms who talk about what they do. Now, us mortals, we have to be our own advertising agency or our own PR firm. So we need to get out there, we need to communicate, we need to share our good news. And that's what it's all about. You need to communicate to connect with people.
Interesting. Capability and communication. So what's the last one?
Yes, so confidence is the final key to success. Confidence is the secret sauce that gets you started, gets you out there, and keeps you moving towards success. So one of my favorite sayings is it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. Now, if you don't have the confidence to get out of the starting gate, to keep pushing, to keep striving, you're going to find it very hard to achieve success.
Okay. So why did you decide that these are the keys to success?
Look, there's actually many keys to success. There's optimism, there's drive, there's patience, discipline, hard work, organization, EQ, resilience. The list goes on and on and on. But what I've tried to do is just keep it simple. I've chosen 3 areas that I think I can share knowledge and experience and help coach. I'm also an alliteration tragic, and I like these 3 C's to work with.
Fair enough. Let's wrap it up here. So what advice would you give to your younger self?
Great question. If I could communicate to my 18-year-old self, it would be these things. Firstly, you got to believe in yourself. Have faith in yourself. It doesn't matter if you haven't done it yet or proven that you've done it. Have a go. Get out there, do it. Because if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. You have to be your own cheerleader. The second thing is get good. Build up those skills. Build up that capability. So what you got to do is you got to read. You got to talk to people. You got to observe. You got to listen. You got to think, and you got to learn. It's only by learning that you can build up your skills and build up the capability and build up value. And the last thing is you got to learn how to communicate, right? You need to make sure that you can use words to your advantage. Words are super powerful. Words define reality. So you need to learn how to use words, learn how to communicate. So you're communicating and getting this message across to other people.
So the keys to success, if I may paraphrase, are confidence, believe in yourself, have faith, capability, find something that you want to do, practice, get good at it, be the best you can be, and communication. Learn how to communicate your capability so you're able to communicate how competent you are at that capability.
Yep, that's my top 3. There's many other things, but these are the 3 that I'd start with if you were wondering where to start.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time. And thank you so much for sharing your keys to success. Now, what I'd like to do is to close off Success Stories with Kei with a message from the sponsor. So you've got 60 seconds to say whatever you'd like to say.
Okay, thanks. So, do you want to have a better life? Do you want to unlock your potential? Do you want to learn the keys to success? If you've answered yes to any of these questions, follow Kei to Success. I'm going to share my learnings from successful people. I'm going to share my knowledge from the books that I've read, and I'm going to share observations of successful living. Follow Kei to Success, and you're going to pick up tips on how others have achieved success. You're going to pick up tips on how to get better at communicating, and you're going to pick up tips on how to increase your confidence. So follow Kei to Success, unlock your potential to live a better life. If you have found this useful, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Follow Kei to Success so you can benefit from my learnings about success.